stuff, and I didn't always take the Expos. And there was a game once, the Expos came back from like a 9-2 deficit in like the 9th inning. And on the post-game show, I got like 3,000 calls. The phone was blowing up. Morency, that was the greatest game in the last 10 years of the Expos. Awesome stuff. Hey, what do you think? I'm like, what I think? The Cubs suck.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Put Pete Crow Armstrong on the mound to see what he does. Like, Ohtani, just by himself at the plate, is the best hitter in Major League Baseball. Let's just say, keep it in the National League at this point. He's the MVP. So I can't wait till he pitches 6 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. Time they go like, I don't know if he can be the MVP now. Oh, no, he's still hitting 300 with 45 jacks and just hit 6 innings in a Major League Baseball game. And people are going to hold that against him.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Will Aaron Judge be at the top of the home run board in MLB? What say you?
Judge probably is going to hit 55, 58. Somewhere around there is his number there. So I'll say I'm going to buy this. And Aaron Judge will lead the major leagues in home runs this year. Listen, I'm not breaking news. I probably would take that every year. And when he plays this next couple until he's getting up there in age, until his bat does start to slow down.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions live on SportsGrid with you on a Tuesday night. Kevin Walsh here, incredibly excited for a jam-packed Major League Baseball slate where I felt, you know what, we're going old school. 10 home run picks tonight. Let's let it fly. One of those is going to come in the game between the Orioles and the Mets, but a delayed start. So we have time to get there. No action for me in Tigers-Rays. I know the team in the back does not mind Tampa Bay at a plus price fading Jack Flaherty, if I could speak. Let's put some best bets on the board, though, for everyone here. And it'll lead into what is our main event coming from the WNBA. AJ makes a decision in Brewers-Dodgers. I think it's a tricky game tonight. Mizorowski gets the baseball against Clayton Kershaw. LA slumping massively as they have lost 4 games in a row. I believe tying their season long. Sam Yarnell is going to go to Ben Shelton, a little plus 250 on the Wimbledon side. Shout out Sabalenka offering a plus money opportunity live during her match earlier today. The Moneyline team was all about that. Vladdy Jr., 3+ hit, run, RBI for the red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. Aaron Savali, who wanted to start, gets his opportunity with the Chicago White Sox. The unfortunate thing for Savali, I don't know how much the White Sox care. He has been pretty bad. And it looks like Chris is going to look to take advantage of Savali with Vladdy Jr. For myself, I'm going to go Liberty team total over 85.5. That number at minus 113, though we could see some dropping in the market. That due to some health concerns for the New York Liberty tonight, as they will continue to be without Jonquel Jones, and for the first time this season, no Natasha Cloud. This is a huge game, one of the biggest we have seen so far, I believe, of the WNBA season. A 3.5-point line due to the movement from the injuries. Your total right now sits at 165.5. And the team total that I played has dropped a point due to just the spread moving, but I still feel good about it. You know, big picture with Cloud and Jonquel Jones out, that is more impactful to the Liberty on the defensive side of the basketball. Jonquel and Cloud are probably 2 of the 3 best defenders on that team, with Breanna Stewart being the best. But the Liberty tonight, specifically Stewie, are in line for a bounce-back offensive effort. This is Breanna Stewart's most recent game was easily her worst of the season, coming against her former team in the Seattle Storm. 8 points on 23.5% shooting from the field. Did not make a three-point shot. It was the first time all season long we saw her struggle that much. That was the first time she didn't score double digits on the season. And coming at home where the Liberty have been so good was absolutely surprising. The books are expecting Stewie to bounce back. When you look at those props listed for tonight's game, 20.5 in terms of the points, 32.5 when you look at the points, rebounds, and assists. But I wanted to bring that all together and back the Liberty in their building. When you take a look on the season, they average just under 87 points per game at home. But they have not missed this mark of 85.5 that I'm playing in consecutive home games all season. The 70 that they scored against the Seattle Storm, that was the lowest number they've scored all season at home and all season overall. In fact, the Liberty have only been held under 80 points twice this season, and it was in both meetings with the Seattle Storm, who very well may have their number. But I just think you have a premium bounce-back spot here in a high-level game. I do not want to fully back the Liberty, though, with a spread, and this was before the Cloud injury, because of the way that they have struggled since Jonquel Jones went down with the injury. Jonquel Jones left early in a game against Phoenix, playing only 9 minutes, and in that game, the Liberty took what was their second loss of the season. And it was the first time they lost a game that Jonquel Jones had played in. Prior to that game, they walked into it sitting at 10-1. They entered tonight's game right now at 12-6. So I am taking a spot here to back the Liberty up against the Vegas Aces. For Vegas, though, this is a really, really important game. And I need to check something. I'm just going to go hand up accountability mode here because ESPN is now throwing me off in an insane way, but I'm pretty sure of something. This game is in New York, right? There's all of a sudden this thing saying it's in Vegas, and that's just embarrassing if I mess that up. No. Yeah, ESPN totally botching that. And that would be, again, that would have been a bad look for me. So we're right. They're confirming in the back that we're right. This game is very much so in New York. 100% blame. I've somehow clicked on the wrong game here. Why is this taking me to a game on the 13th? Doesn't matter. We like the Liberty at home. For Vegas, this is an opportunity to grab a statement victory against a rival who is coming in shorthanded. And I know it might sound unfair to say, oh, Vegas, you have to go beat the Liberty in New York. Well, the Aces are having very clearly their worst start to a season since they became one of the powerhouses of this league. They are 9-9 right now, in danger of being under 500 through 19 games. Through 18 games. Here's how the Aces have started their seasons. In 2020, 14-4. And in that season, they made the finals, starting their run as one of the best teams in the league. 14-4 again. 14-4 again. An incredible 16-2 in 2023. Last year's team, when they were 12-6, it felt like the sky was falling because they were 6-6 to start the season. The sixth loss coming to the New York Liberty. They figured out, they bounced back, they win 6 in a row. This team finishing ultimately 27-13. Look, they weren't their usual dominant selves, but there was something there. That corner has not been turned for the Vegas Aces this season. Their best mark record-wise, games over 500, was 4-2. They have now been trying to avoid playing sub-500 basketball. They have not been over 500 since they were 4-3. Vegas has an opportunity here where they've been able to beat up on Connecticut during some of their most recent games. If they can get this win against the Liberty, avoid what is seemingly always staring them in the face and something they've already recently dealt with, an upset against the Mystics, then they get back home. They'll host Golden State. I know they've been spicy, but they've been good, okay? But the Aces are home for that game. And if they can get a 4-game win streak headed into that break, which is coming right around the corner, right, at Dallas, you're going to be favored in that game by quite a bit. Home against Atlanta. There is a world for Vegas to get downhill. But for it to feel like it matters and they've accomplished something, I think they need to win this game here tonight. For those that don't remember, I bet the Liberty to win the WNBA championship as one of the favorites, thinking that this was going to be a team that bounced back from last year's down season. It's gone the other direction, and there are segments of Ace's Twitter telling Aja, we won't blame you, go ahead and ask out. We'll see what Aja Wilson and the Aces bring tonight, but I think offensively the Liberty at minimum step up. Give me over their team total at 85.5. Let's talk homers next here on SportsGrid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, let's talk some homers here on a Tuesday. Again, I have to say the Dinger Tuesday promo is still nowhere near the best version of itself, and it would be great if we could get back to pretty much the perfect thing that it was. Also, we're already underway. Jonathan Aranda, a clubhouse favorite here on Game Time Decisions, homered in the first inning between Rays Tigers, so we are underway. Let's go to the boys in the back here where everything begins. Kosky's going to go Alec Burleson. for St. Louis tonight. I think that game is also going to have a pushed back start. I like St. Louis in that game. They are a big favorite rightfully, but Sonny Gray's in a good spot, so potentially a money line piece there. Nick Kurtz for the A's against the Atlanta Braves. Late night, always runs expected there. I'm going to visit that game for a couple of picks. AJ goes to Castellanos, 7-1. Did I miss any world news? Shout out to AJ for betting Castellanos and it not having to do with any tragedy, at least that I know of. So that's a thumbs up. I went 10 deep. There were a lot of intriguing spots, I thought, on tonight's slate where numbers were aligning. And then I thought there were also a couple of guys who were worth taking a chance on. So we'll go piece by piece in, what is pretty much chronological order of when these guys are going to play. Some of these numbers could potentially move around, but I'm going to certainly read what I have in front of me. Pete Alonso, plus 360. I think Pete Alonso is an excellent spot here against the Baltimore Orioles. The delay hopefully means that game won't be interrupted in-game, which is great. Brandon Young fits kind of more the billing of what we've seen from Baltimore pitching this season, which is terrible. His splits this season are an impressive 331 to lefties and 321 to righties, but Pete Alonso has bashed righties, and I think it gives us a good chance tonight to back Pete Alonso. Boston is in a really nice spot against Kyle Freeland. I think Freeland is in line to get hit, and he's also kind of always in line to get hit. He allows a 332 batting average against righties. Romy Gonzalez would have been very easily the option here if Romy Gonzalez did not homer yesterday. And that kind of ruined things for me because I don't feel like betting Romy Gonzalez to homer in back-to-back days. And I wouldn't have known that if Romy Gonzalez didn't jump off the page yesterday when Austin Gobber was on the mound for Colorado, and I didn't have a piece of him, and that's on me. But I am going to go with Roman Anthony. 282 batting average still allowed this season for Freeland against lefties, which is not good. And Roman Anthony is someone that we expect to have plenty of power here up at the big league level. I think that's starting to come along a little bit. And so far, he's been a little bit better against lefties than righties on this young season. Kyle Freeland, we know he's vulnerable. I like my chances there. Next up is really game of the day for me. As I was going through the numbers for Shota Imanaga and Simeon Woods Richardson, I was like, this game feels like it could have some runs in it. And then I saw the total, and I was like, all right, clearly I'm not, discovering things that no one else was anticipating here. This is a big-time total tonight in Minnesota, checking in at around 9.5. So I didn't want to play that over because that was a big number. But I thought there are guys on both sides of these teams that were worth getting involved with where I thought the prices were appropriate. Kyle Tucker and Pete Crow Armstrong for the Chicago Cubs. A couple of lefties looking to take advantage of Woods Richardson. And then going up against Imanaga, we're going to go to the right-handed side of the plate. Byron Buxton, who's having a nice season for Minnesota, which is nice to see. And Willie Castro, who's been very good against lefties so far this season. Switch hitter, we're getting a 6-1 price. We've worked in some big numbers here tonight, and Willie Castro is absolutely one of those. The next one would be my favorite one. It's also the shortest price, but I think Shohei Ohtani goes deep. I wouldn't be surprised if he does do it here on the first pitch. Ohtani is colder over the last 3 weeks, and some of that has coincided with, again, not as many home runs as you expect from Ohtani, who's a guy who, when he gets downhill, homers, it feels like every single game. I think Mizorowski could be had. I am not sure if it is a clear bounce-back spot for him coming off of a rough outing against the Mets, or, hey, is there a little bit of he's been found out? What I know is righties have been absolutely hopeless against him, and lefties have been getting the job done. So I think Shohei Ohtani tonight can get the job done at plus 210. Jack Caglione, very much so in danger of being dumped from the farm system, a.k.a. my fantasy baseball team. Cags has not lived up to the billing even remotely here for KC with a ripe 144 batting average. Woof. He also has a multi-home run game. He only has 2 home runs. So Cags played 30 games in the bigs and has only homered in one of them. That's not good. But but I think that could potentially turn around at a plus 750 number, where I find Mitch Keller to check into tonight's game a little bit vulnerable, sell high off of a 7 innings of shutout work in his most recent outing, and struggles against the left-handed side of the plate. I thought that was worth taking advantage of. And then the late night special, where you kind of just got to embrace the runs that are typically and seemingly always expected between an A's home game. On the A's side of it, give me Lawrence Butler, 4-1. On the Braves side of it, give me Matt Olson at 3-1. Specifically excited to get that lefty price there. Jeffrey Springs has struggled a little bit against lefties. Matt Olson's having himself a nice season all in all against the left-handed side of the plate. So that is where we are. 10 guys to homer. Pete Alonso, Roman Anthony, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, Byron Buxton, Willie Castro, Shohei Ohtani, Jack Caglione, Matt Olson, Lawrence Butler. The question I pose to the people, how many do you think I get? Like, what would the over-under be? 2.5? Is that too high? I think 2.5 feels like maybe where the total is. You got a lot of plus money there. Maybe 1.5 if you're not feeling it. We'll see what it is. And again, to remind you, for the team in the back, Burleson, Kurtz, Castellanos, some home run love as well. We're going to talk a little footy next right here. It's Game Time Decisions.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, is he, 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf sub-forum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, Game Time Decisions is back with you here on a Tuesday night. Want to remind everybody, you do have some Summer League action tonight if you are interested. Summer League before Vegas is always a little bit weird. There will be no games tomorrow, and then Thursday we are in Vegas for the official Summer League and getting everything underway. But tonight you have Sixers Grizzlies, still no VJ Edgecombe in Utah, and then the Jazz and the Thunder are going to play in Utah. Then you get the California Classic, which is going on between the Warriors and the Heat, and then the Spurs and the Lakers. So you've got, again, a couple of things happening at once there, different locations, but just letting everybody know where things are right now for Summer League. But one other thing I know, certainly, there's been some buzz locally here, has been for the FIFA Club World Cup, featuring a lot of the biggest teams, and you've got everything going on at MetLife. Chelsea earlier today, getting past Fluminense, who's had a nice little run coming from Brazil. João Pedro scoring twice in that match tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of anticipation with PSG and Real Madrid. PSG, of course, winning the Champions League. Real Madrid has owned that tournament for the most, decade or so. So I'm sure there will be a lot of excitement for that game, and that, again, is tomorrow. And to help us talk a little bit about all of this, it's Marcelino Ortiz, who joins us now on Game Time Decisions. And Marcelino, we appreciate you making some time. I want to start just with the Chelsea match earlier today and what you saw from that group and what kind of chance you're going to give them, where I would anticipate they'll likely be an underdog come Sunday's match.
Without a doubt, but, it's a time for surprises in the Club World Cup. Chelsea has had a very peculiar path. They started winning 2-0 to LAFC, then they faltered against a Brazilian team, and after that, it was just upright trajectory for the British team. I think that it will be very, very hard for whoever advances from PSG and Real Madrid to defeat Chelsea. Chelsea has proven that they have bite, that they have a very well-organized midfield. We have players, like you mentioned, João Pedro. This addition, he joined the team just July 2nd, 4 or 5 days with the team, and he is transforming that top attack. So I believe that Chelsea, although it's going to be not the favorite on the odds, it might be a great value bet for the final.
Now, what are you thinking as we look to tomorrow with PSG and Real Madrid? I'm sure to some degree there was, at least entering the tournament, a wonder how much clubs like this would care about a tournament like this. But now you're here in the semifinal. You're matched up against one another, a win away from being a win away to winning the entire thing. I imagine it's best foot forward.
It is an amazing motivation, but also $140 million to the team that wins it all. That is a big check. And these players, at least they're getting $1 or $2 million bonuses just to get to the final, and on top of that, whatever the team decided beforehand. Now, I believe that they're going to give it their all. I have very, very, very good ideas for this game. I believe that PSG will end up being the winner, but there's great opportunities. I believe that a key player for props is Hakimi. Hakimi used to be a Real Madrid player. He has been scoring in the last 7 games, four times in the last 7 games, and he will be foaming at the mouth to score against his former team because they discarded him and went to PSG. So Hakimi to score at any time plus 400, it's a value bet for me. Another one, the game to go to extra time. I believe that these two teams will fight till the end. So I don't believe there will be a winner at the 90 minutes. The result is going to be hard to predict. We're talking about 2 of the biggest billionaire teams that we have in the world. So I don't think the result straight out will be the wise bet, but if you parlay it into both teams to score, teams to be tied at half, and Hakimi to score any time, you have a really interesting parlay right there.
Marcelino, I know we only have a couple seconds left here, but is this the first time Mbappe is going to match up against PSG since leaving for Madrid?
That is the case. Mbappe has not played against PSG. He just came in the last game and scored a bicycle kick just to show everybody at the level that he's coming at. So I believe that he also is a favorite to score. The odds on him scoring are much lower, but I do believe that he will score in this game. He's a striker that is very, very eager to prove that he's the big star for Real Madrid, no matter who's in front of him.
Yeah, that is one of those storylines that will be can't miss. I imagine will dominate a lot of that broadcast, and it makes for a really fascinating semifinal match tomorrow. Marcelino Ortiz helping us out with the FIFA Club World Cup still ongoing. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, with you right here. It's Game Time Decisions. We are live on SportsGrid. We got Jared Hockman joining us on the show to talk some Major League Baseball. Jared made a promise we would not talk Yankees, and I don't want to make Jared a liar, so that doesn't really count. Let's talk about some of the games that you're going to get involved with here. And you're betting inside a game that I found the lines to be very, very interesting, which was the Twins-Cubs game. That total is a little reminiscent of either, hey, that game's actually at Wrigley and the wind's blowing out, or 2 lesser pitchers than necessarily what's being thrown. I'm betting against these guys with some home run props, bigger shots. If I get 1 to connect, that's good enough. But you're going to maybe fade what does, I agree with you, look to be a big number.
Yeah, Kevin, and we're looking at a first 5 innings under 5 here. And we kind of might have a bit of a pitcher's duel between Shota Imanaga and Simeon Woods-Richardson. And I understand, like, saying the word pitcher's duel and Simeon Woods-Richardson in the same sentence sounds kind of crazy. But he's been pitching really well lately. I think he's got 5 innings with 2 hits or less in 3 of his last 4 starts. Imanaga, you talk about the home runs, Kevin. It's a little bit dangerous for him. He gave up 3 in his last outing, but he's looked generally solid since coming back from injury. And you got 2 solid pitchers here. But again, I can't, like 4.5 I'm used to. 5 is a big number to get in the first 5 innings. You look at that. For the Twins, it's cashed in 7 of the last 10 games. I think they've gone under 5. For the Cubs, it's cashed or pushed in half of their last 10 games. Some people look at doing the under 4.5 and get it plus money. I'll sacrifice the 20 cents to kind of get that extra insurance. But like I said, you can still get a home run or 2. You can have 1 decent inning from a team and still have this cash. So that's what I'm looking at. The pitchers to mostly be strong. Then you can cash all your bets in the second half of the game. Let the bullpens blow up.
Yeah, that works for me. Or solo shots only. Nobody will ever complain about that. One of the most interesting games on this slate tonight to me is Brewers-Dodgers because you've got Mizorowski coming off of his most recent outing being a rough one. Kershaw decided he had to get the 3,000th strikeout at home, so he throws 100 pitches out of nowhere, which you don't expect. The line's been moving Milwaukee's way. The Dodgers have lost 4 in a row. How are you attacking this game?
You kind of set it up there, Kevin. Like I said, it is kind of the past against the future with Kershaw versus Mizorowski. I'm actually looking at the Brewers here, but I'm also, again, going with another first 5 innings bet and the first 5 run line for Milwaukee. Got this earlier, plus 125. You're right. Mizorowski came back to earth in his last start, but man, his stuff is so good. Like, it's just crazy. The fastball slider combo, what he can do. And I look at the Dodgers. You said they lost 4 straight, but their bats have been struggling for about a month now, especially early in games. I think they're 29th with a 224 average against righties in the first 5 innings. So I think there's a chance for Mizorowski to, again, keep them kind of cold when they get started. I look at Kershaw. He got to 3,000 strikeouts, incredible thing, but he's been a little bit iffy. Like his stats on paper look good, but kind of advanced analytics say it's a little bit lucky. He's also faced a lot of kind of subpar offenses. You look at the Brewers, they're hitting 290s a team against Southpaws since June 1st. It's going to be one of the toughest offenses he can face. Coming off that high pitch count as well, might kind of run out of gas a little bit early, might be a little susceptible to some damage there. Listen, I take the better pitcher with a hotter offense at plus money in the first half. Let's go with the Brew Crew.
Speaking of hot offenses, the Toronto Blue Jays minus 200 on the road against the White Sox, but it's hard to argue with the way they're playing and, again, with the way the White Sox are. I mean, this team is, 30 games under 500 already. How are you looking to find some value with Toronto positioned as a pretty big favorite?
Yeah, Kevin, I'm going with Toronto to score runs. And you said we weren't going to talk about the Yankees, and I'll try not to. Thankfully, they're already starting. So them. But unfortunately, I got to witness the Jays beat my Yankees down in person last week, and they haven't really stopped. So again, I'm going with their team total over 5.5 and get this at plus 120. You talk about the hottest offense in baseball. They're second in average and first in runs since June 1st. And it's not just one or two guys. Like you've got Springer, Vladimir Guerrero, Alejandro Kirk, Addison Barger all hitting well. You've also got Bo Bichette back in that lineup now, which is another big addition. And then I look at the White Sox. They got Aaron Savale starting. And, well, Kevin, he ain't great. Just going to put it that way. Like the StatCast page is rough. He's had 2 decent starts and 2 poor starts since joining the White Sox. But those 2 poor starts came against good offenses in the Dodgers and these Blue Jays. I just think you're going to see, again, another good night for the Jays hitters, and it's going to rack up. In addition to the big offensive thing, I'm also tacking on a player prop. I'm going to go with Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, to get an RBI at plus 155. I think he's in the 6 hole tonight for the Jays. But what I really like about it's a good run scoring opportunity, but his price for a run batted in, it's about 30 cents longer than the rest of those Jays big bats. So I'm looking at Kirk, who's basically having an all-star year, kind of continue it and stay hot as the Jays pile on against the White Sox.
Makes sense to me. Late night, Jose Soriano at times feels like kind of an enigma. Like you look at some of these box scores, like this guy's awesome, and then there's other times. I mean, it's just his last 2 outings, 7 innings of shutout baseball, 7 Ks against the Braves on the road. The start before that, he gave up 8 earned runs in 4 innings to the Nats at home. So, which Jose Soriano are you betting on tonight?
It's funny, Kevin, you say that because literally the first thing I wrote in my notes is which Jose Soriano do we get tonight?
There we go.
First thing I wrote. And I think we're going to get the one that's got the nasty strikeout potential. So I'm going to go with him over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 135. Like I said, that dichotomy is kind of crazy. 6+ batters and 35 total strikeouts in 4 of his last 5 starts, or 15 total strikeouts in the 5 starts before that. The thing I'm liking for him, though, is the matchup against Texas. They're 19th in average, and they have the 8th most strikeouts against righties since June 1st. And I kind of look a little bit deeper into Texas' recent games. They've really only faced 2 quality right-handed starters in their last 10. That was Brian Wu and Logan Gilbert. And they got 9 and 7 strikeouts, respectively. Kind of like Mizorowski, Jose Soriano's got electric stuff, that 100-mile-an-hour sinker, a little bit of slider and a curve he throws, too. I like him to get the 5+ strikeouts. I'd also maybe sprinkle a little on him getting 6 Ks, the all total. Find that as long as plus 160. So I think he still might give up some runs, but I think he's going to get his punch outs in the process.
Not mad at it at all there. Lastly, A's Braves, a.k.a. Coors Field, just with not the full reputation yet. I feel like some bettors are going to be really sad when they get out of this place because of the runs that we have just been given on a consistent basis throughout this season. Luis Severino won't be upset in his insane home road splits. What do you like tonight with the A's and the Braves?
Yeah, Kevin, I'm actually going to go with the A's team total over 4.5 at minus 130. Sutter Health Park, the wind is supposed to be blowing out to dead center field, and the Braves are sending out 20-year-old rookie Didier Fuentes, who through 3 starts has gone 12 innings, giving up 12 runs and 18 hits. So this is really not the nice place for him to be. He's not missing bats. He's pitching to a lot of contact. Giving up contact in this stadium is a recipe for disaster. And so you got Larry Butler and Nick Kurtz and Soderstrom and Rooker, Jacob Wilson all hitting well. So again, recipe for pain, and I'm expecting a lot of damage for Fuentes to be on the menu tonight.
I would just quickly for the Severino stuff, because people may look at it, and it's a 7 at home right now, and it's a 3 on the road. but that's because he was recently hit pretty hard in his most recent road starts. I'm telling you, at one point, it was like an 8 or 9 at home, and it was like under a 1 on the road. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Luis Severino. He's got a 2-10 record. I think he might end up like one of the better arms available at the deadline.
It's got to be up here, right? Like just worried about the park. And like I know he's a bit of a fastball guy, gives up a lot of fly balls, but like to have that stark of a contrast, like you've got to be pitching scared to not get beat up. And when you play scared or pitch scared, you're going to get beat up because that's always how it happens. But look for him to be a deadline acquisition. He might actually be really good if he goes somewhere else with not just pitch again like we've seen him do in previous years.
Bring Sevy home? You don't have to. You'd have to bring the Yanks up just a little bit. Jared, appreciate it. As always, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here. It is Game Time Decisions. We are live on SportsGrid on a Tuesday night. We'll be right back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that rhythm. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Game Time Decisions. We're back with you here on a Tuesday night. A couple of interesting spots on the card of the Major League Baseball board. Just starting to get itself going here now. We have our eyes on the game between the Liberty and the Aces tonight, which is a really, really important matchup, I think, for these two teams who I don't think either are really happy with where things sit right now. The New York Liberty started the season on a historic pace, 9-0, and all of the games largely were blowouts. It was really, really impressive. They now are 12-6. And they are, of course, missing Jonquel Jones. They go into tonight's game still missing Jonquel, and on top of that, missing Natasha Cloud. But also, getting beat in their own building, I do not think is something that this team wants to ever become accustomed to. The Liberty have a very legitimate home court advantage at the Barclays Center, and this team has now, in their two of their three most recent home games, lost to legitimate teams in terms of Phoenix and Seattle. And what you're really doing, I think, in those results is you're opening up the idea that this is an open league right now. Fascinatingly enough, the books don't agree. Plus 180 Liberty, plus 190 Lynx. Those are short numbers. They really are. And I think it's, again, a bit of pricing from the book that basically says the real Liberty, the Liberty that we are pricing, is the Liberty with Jonquel Jones and certainly Natasha Cloud. And that's a largely unbeatable team unless you are Minnesota. I think that we'll have to wait and see, right? I think that that's really kind and optimistic pricing that I myself have some hesitation with, and I can't fully get there on. I'm also, and I've talked about this at other points in the show, but I am not there on the Minnesota Lynx at their number. I was not in on them preseason, and I don't feel I find myself at least shifting enough to thinking that this team should be plus 190. I just think that the league is still a bit more open. Now, Nafisha Collier has taken the leap that she is not just the favorite for MVP, but she has and she's a considerable favorite at minus 550. But Nafisha Collier absolutely can make the argument that she is the best player in the WNBA over Aja Wilson. She can make that case. And that, to me, preseason, what was the case for the Lynx? How was this going to work out for this team? And I thought you needed Fee to take that level of leap of not just a league MVP, but legitimately the best player in the league, and the 24-8 and, efficient 24-8. A career high right now from the field, a career high right now from three. Well, not a career high. Her first two seasons, she was actually incredible from three, but the best that she shot since her first two seasons with an increase in volume. It's the most attempts she's ever had in a season from beyond the arc. 95% from the line out of nowhere, which is pretty outrageous as well. And I'm not saying that those shouldn't be the top two choices. Those are just really short numbers for me. Now, maybe another factor is the books feel really uncertain about what postseason seeding is going to look like here, because two of the teams that the books were really high on in the Indiana Fever and the Vegas Aces are 500, right? The Fever with the stretch of basketball that they had to play without Caitlin Clark. I know it's come around, but this team cannot stop losing to lesser teams even when Clark isn't in the lineup. They beat Vegas. They beat Minnesota. They lose to the Sparks somehow, right? This team lost to the Connecticut Sun at home. That doesn't happen if Caitlin Clark plays in that basketball game. You just couldn't convince me otherwise. So where does that team end up seeding-wise? What about Vegas? Again, Vegas today, they lose this game. They're under 500, almost 20 games into the season. But at the end of the day, if you're the Lynx and in round one you're playing Vegas, that's not ideal. You'd much rather be playing the Valkyries or the Atlanta Dream. That's the pricing will back up that sentiment. It just will. So it's really interesting when you get into those WNBA futures. To remind everyone, we are on the over team total tonight for the New York Liberty. I think it's just a very clear bounce back spot for that team, and specifically a very clear bounce back spot for Breanna Stewart. Breanna Stewart is coming off of her worst game so far this season. First time she didn't get to double digits, despite shooting 17 times from the field, only 4 makes, couldn't get anything to go from beyond the arc. I expect Stewie to be much better. And, Stewie's not necessarily had her way with Vegas, but she was awesome against them in the very first game of the season. 25 points on 10 of 14 from the floor. So I'm really fascinated to see what we get out of Stewie. I should also just bring up, but the run that Angel Reese is on right now statistically is remarkable. She has now put together, it is 6 straight games of 15 or more rebounds. The assists have continued to trend in the right direction, being just one of 3 players with a triple-double in the W so far this season. And the props are still hesitant to fully get there. Her rebound number today was 13.5, which is a gaudy number. But she is cashing these with ease. Even the rebounds plus assist number was 17.5. Her rebounds plus assists during this 6-game run, the tally, 23, 23, 20, 23, 23, and 19. So, it's, again, statistical dominance, just stuffing the stat sheet from Reese. And there has been some high-scoring games. She has multiple 20-point performances in that stretch. She's been doing really good work from the free throw line in this run. She got to the line 15 times this morning. They played a game against the Mystics. That's exactly what you have to be looking for from Angel Reese, and she certainly did deliver in that way. We're going to take a quick break here on Game Time Decisions. We do have Coach James Young joining us in just a little bit. We'll get his thoughts on this game, certainly a really, really big one. But we're going to update everybody on that Major League Baseball board, see if any of that scoring has started, and remind everybody about some of the other home run picks that we have for you here on the show tonight. It's Game Time Decisions. We're live on SportsGrid.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, is he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back. I need someone to get eyes on this WNBA draft because, so for anyone that doesn't know, the WNBA All-Star Game draft is happening right now, and I'm all for that. That stuff's fun, but we're 4 picks in, and Aja Wilson wasn't selected. So I'm trying to figure out what happened there. She has since been selected. I just don't understand how that happened. Caitlin went first. She picked Aaliyah Boston. That makes sense. You get put in a spot. You always take your teammate. That's how it goes. Fee takes Stewie. That's fine. I think they're really close. I believe they're big. I think they may be partners together in the Unrivaled League. Get it. Kayla then goes Sab, which I don't know how that happens. Then you get Alicia Gray. Again, no slight to any of them, but just like Aja Wilson's Aja Wilson. Right? Like, wouldn't you have imagined that wouldn't have played out like that? Like Caitlin Clark dominating a little bit the draft, it feels like. All right. Let's see here. I got the teams up now. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, Aja Wilson, Satu Sablet, Nafisha Collier, Brianna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Nneka Ogumwe, and Paige Beckers. Team Clark's going to be the favorite. Pretty much can guarantee that already. So the WNBA draft's going on. Let's talk some baseball. All right? Major League Baseball board right now. Has anyone scored other than in this Tampa Bay game? Reds up 1-0. There we go. McLean homer. Reds did not help the people out yesterday. Messing up some money line parlays. Ellie De La Cruz did not get the job done. Nerfy cashes in Boston, Colorado. Not anticipated, but does end up what happens. We had some life there with a man on, but doesn't do much. We've got a 3-up, 3-down situation. It looks like for the Mets. Not good. Yankees are up right now. Aaron Judge is up right now. Scoreboard could change at a moment's notice. J.P. Crawford did have a hit for Seattle in that first inning. J.P. Crawford was a bit of a look tonight if you wanted to get crazy home run-wise. So was Dominic Canzone. Mariners did feel like an understandable play if you made it here on tonight's Major League Baseball board. There are a few games that have only begun. So let's remind everybody of the 10 home run plays. Pete Alonso and Roman Anthony are now underway. Still to come. 4 in the same game. Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker on the Cubs side. And then we're going with Byron Buxton and Willie Castro on the Minnesota side. It feels like a game to me where these are two guys who could be vulnerable to the home run pitch. I think they're in sell-high spots, if you would. I am still surprised by the total. We talked about this with Jared when he came on earlier. It's a high number, a little bit higher than I would have been comfortable with playing it over, but I thought still a game where a lefty takes Wood Richardson deep. Maybe I miss out. Maybe it's Michael Busch, but I like my chance there. And then I think someone can take Imanaga. Maybe they all homer. Wouldn't that be a treat? Brewers-Dodgers is coming up. A reminder that the Brewers are the best bet of our guy, AJ, back there. I'm on Ohtani to homer in this game. I feel really good about the Ohtani pick at plus 210. I actually think you're getting what would be considered a good number for Shohei. I'm on Jack Caglione to homer in that 740 window, taking a shot on Cags. Otherwise, he very well could be a free agent in the SportsGrid Fantasy Baseball League. Also at 740, Toronto, Vladdy Jr., our best bet from Casino. Chris, 3+ tonight, looking to fade Savali, which, I mean, it makes sense to me. Righty who struggled against righties. Vladdy Jr. steps up to the dish there, red hot baseball team. So that's where, then a little Ben Shelton again for those who are getting involved, Wimbledon style. Late night, Matt Olson, Lawrence Butler. This is a ballpark that just provides juice. And Jeffrey Springs is someone who I am specifically happy to fade. With Matt Olson, who's a lefty who's been good against lefties. Spring, a lefty who's been bad against lefties. That works for me at 3-1, 4-1, Lawrence Butler. Let's get the coach in the mix. Next, it's Game Time Decisions.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What is he, 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Game time decisions live on SportsGrid here. Waiting for more runs. That's what we're rooting in, folks, on that Major League Baseball board. But we got to talk some hoops. It means Coach James Young is in the mix. JY, good to see you, sir. I'm gonna zag, if I could, for a minute. All right, intel coming in. Okay, the WNBA All-Star Draft is going on right now. Did you know about this? Totally fair if you did not.
No, I knew that Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier were the captains, and I do know from the first time since 2021 with Liz Campage, Vandersloot, and Maya Moore that you would have 3 rookies in a WNBA All-Star game, and Paige Beckers, Kiki Ariafen, and Sonia Citron. So I know a little bit.
All right. Well, here's why I bring it up. Caitlin Clark had the first pick. She took Aaliyah Boston. Now, So JY. That's valid, though, right? People, they take their teammates. We know how that goes, okay? Right? So that's fine. Nafisha goes. She takes Stewie.
I was going to say, because of Unrivaled. They're partners.
Okay.
Business partners.
Now, Caitlin's back on the clock. I would imagine that this pick would go the reigning MVP. Sabrina Ionescu went. Right? And I was like, oh. Then Fee got back on the clock. Now, at this point, JY, this is a run to the podium pick, you would think. Alicia Gray went. So then Aja Wilson went in the 3rd round.
What? Okay, so honestly, I'm going to say this. Smartly done by Caitlin Clark. Because when think of hear about this. When Stewie went 2, you're not going big fish, Stewie, Asia. You got to split them up. So Caitlin went with the best guard she thought was available in Sab, and then turned around and got her big. So I'm more fired up about Asia and Aaliyah versus Fish and Stewie. I mean, I'm a big man coach. They can play 2-on-2 and let everybody else go home. I'm okay with a little 2-on-2 action.
Yeah, but can I say this? I think Aja is someone who takes everything personal.
Oh, yeah.
I think she might score 40 tonight now. I don't think she's going to be happy that she went 3rd.
Yeah, good zag there. So let's pull up the points props for.
It's 23 and a half.
Well, you know what I liked, Kevin, and it kind of gets to one of my best bets is, she's kind of struggled a little bit on the road here. So I want to see how much it's moved in the last hour or so. I'm going to go Asia Wilson minus 155. They're going to double.
Okay.
Her rebounding prop I thought was at 10.5 at plus money earlier today. I just want to double check and get that up here just so I'm sure. Yes, it's 10.5 at plus 116. Under 10.5 is minus 154. She's gone under the last 2 games. She's got 3 rebounds in each game. One of them was the 91-54 loss to the Fever. You throw that out. You combine it with the fact that Jonquel Jones is not playing tonight, and we know that Jonquel Jones is a monster on the boards and gives them fits. Naira Sabally only gets about 4.5 rebounds a game. You know it, I know it. Asia guards Sabally, and then Kia Stokes will probably, they'll probably not have her guard Stewie, so she'll be inside. I like minus 155 Asia to go get a double-double tonight. I don't think I don't remember seeing numbers. Remember when Asia's double-double was like minus 200, minus 250, minus 270? The last couple of games has brought it down. I like her to get a double-double tonight at minus 155.
All right, I'm not mad at that at all. JY, am playing the Liberty team total in this game, but I've talked about that already. I just want to ask you this. No Jonquel Jones, no Natasha Cloud. Am I crazy to say that there's some added pressure on Vegas to win this game? I get they're on the road. I get the Liberty still have multiple All-Stars, but this team is missing 2 of their 5 starters. I would say probably what, Coach? 2 of their 3 best defenders, right?
2 of the top 4 players, 2 of their top 3 defenders are best inside guard, or best inside defender, best outside defender. Jackie Young will get matched up on Cloud. Cloud will give her problems. Jackie Young's had 4 3-pointers in that last game, but obviously that is something to look at. But I think she goes under. It's a lot of pressure. I mean, Kev, the Liberty haven't covered in 9 straight games. They're 3-6 straight up in the last 9.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean they're cold. I mean they're cold like the Jets. Quarterbacks the last 50 years. They never get hot. So I mean I just
right in the jar, right in the JY jar.
I had to go against my Jets. But to me, Kevin, this is a tremendous lot of pressure. But Kevin, there's also one thing to realize. This is the last game of a 4-game road trip. These road trips at the end, you start thinking about, 40 minutes, get on a plane. I got to fly all the way across the country to Vegas. There's also that.
I know you won't disagree, though, and you're right to bring it up. If this Aces team is thinking about, man, I'd like to get off this road trip, I got a lot of problems with this team because JY, I want to show you something, actually, because, listen, I know this won't surprise you, but we went through the last 5 years of Vegas Aces basketball and what this team has done through the first 18 games of the season. 14-4, 14-4, 14-4 for a 3-year run. 16-2. You remember last year? I mean, they were 12-6, and we were pretty disappointed in that. And because they started 6-6, and then they won 6 in a row. This 9-9 mark, I mean, JY, it is unmistakable relative to the Aces standards. This isn't just bad; it is very alarming.
Well, listen, put that graphic back up, and I want people to understand why those numbers come up since that 16-2. Their depth has been compromised. Alicia Clark, Kate Martin, obviously, Darica Hamby, Kelsey Plum. Those are 4 of their top 8 players on that run they had, Kevin. And let's be honest, the play of Jewel Lloyd has not been what people were hoping for. The thing about people wanted to hope for is when Jewel Lloyd was the number 3 option, right? When it was Stewie and Bird, she could lie under the weeds. And then when she became the top gun, even with a woman, remember no Skylar Diggins last year because of maternity, she had a rough shooting split year. So they were hoping about getting her back would help. I just don't think people understand not just those 3 goals off the bench. I think people are miscalculating how much Kelsey Plum meant to the Las Vegas Aces.
Yeah, I think it's possible. You know, I was really in on this team. I thought that Jewel Lloyd would be a bonus. I think the defense has really disappointed me. But man, there's I think something more to it. There's just been inconsistent play. I thought Aja got off to a slow start. I think when she started to piece it together, some of the other players have not been able to step up. There's moments where Chelsea Gray looks great. There's other moments where it's like, I don't know what's going on here. Chelsea, just last 3 games for Chelsea Gray. 17 points, 5 makes, 19 attempts. That's not going to get it done. That's just not going to get it done. And I thought that Chelsea Gray, she was a real positive in the Unrivaled League. And that's just not translated as much this year. JY, did we miss, because we're going to talk some NBA and stuff, did I miss any picks from you in that game?
No, you basically had it.
All right. Liberty, team total over in that one. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with you.
Over.
Update. JY likes the juice. I appreciate that look as well. We'll be right back with you right here on SportsGrid.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What, he 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right. Shohei Ohtani, we're on the board. First at bat takes Mizorowski deep. Not surprised, got to be honest. Not surprised. We love to see that. Ohtani comes in with a home run in his first at bat. He needed that. He could be breaking out of a cold slump a little bit, which he needs to because it's a Dodgers team looking to avoid what would be a 5th consecutive loss if they do drop this game. We've got Coach James Young here, though, with us. And one of the things that we have an opportunity to do tonight is maybe put our eyes a little bit towards Summer League. I know Coach has been covering that on the Betting Above the Rim podcast, which, of course, you can check out here across all levels of SportsGrid platforms. But, JY, I want to just go to the main event of Thursdays, at least on the Summer League side of it. Might be the main event across all sports betting, really. Mavs Lakers in Vegas, Cooper Flag. What are you expecting? Maybe what are you looking for from Cooper Flag, JY, heading into his first Summer League game?
Well, first things first, I wish I had a plane ticket and $2,500 because that is what gets you into the game tomorrow, Thursday night. I mean, listen, Kevin, at the end of the day, I mean, we talk about the WNBA. This is cinema. The biggest name in Cooper Flag versus the biggest name in the NBA, and that's someone with the last name of James. So to me, here's what I'm looking for. And it's going to surprise people. It's how they pass the ball, both of them. Number one, Cooper Flag, I think you'll see him play a little bit of point forward because when you look at Dallas, and now we have the AD injury as well, like who is the facilitator on that Dallas team until Kyrie gets back? And we don't even know if Kyrie's even getting back during the season. It's Cooper Flag. So you have to put the ball in his hands. So one thing I love off the bat is Cooper Flag double-double. I think isn't it? I think he had some problem where it's like double-double anytime and it's like minus 110 or something.
Yeah.
One double-double.
Yep.
So I look at Cooper Flag, they get a double-double at some point. For Bronny, it's the 1 plus made 3. What was the knock on Bronny coming out of college? Couldn't shoot the ball. What did Bronny do? His first game, 11 minutes of action. 2 of 3 from 3 right off the jump. I think it's 2-1 or 2.5-1, Kevin. Catch me if I'm wrong. Bronny to get 1 plus made 3 in every game of Vegas Summer League. Something I saw yesterday on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't even know if it's still there. But also, to me, I would do a little bit of a double-double with Bronny, too, because he's going to have to run the point. If he's going to be the backup point guard, they have to put him in situations, in PNR situations, where he can create. Look for also, I think it's 20-1, Bronny James double-double during Summer League.
Can I tell you the Lakers Summer League thing that is actually right now the most interesting to me? I don't think this will surprise you. It is whether or not the Lakers have completely ruined Dalton Connect. And maybe, listen, I'm not saying Dalton Connect is absolved of all blame, but they attempted to trade him in what was totally a fine move because they were going to get a center, they were going to try to compete for a championship, and it all made sense. And they balk on the deal, and then Dalton Connect just can't get on the floor, right? JJ doesn't trust him defensively. Connect's confidence is just clearly never the same after the whole situation. If you remember, Connect wasn't injured. It took a little bit before they even let Connect play because it was like he just needs to get himself mentally right for what just happened. And now we're here in Summer League, and it's just like the perfect Dalton Connect dominate spot. Like that's what you would expect. First game, 3 of 13, 0 of 6 from 3. It's like, oh my gosh. But it's one game, right? No worries. Next game, 2 of 7, 0 of 3 from 3, 4 points. Like, he's playing tonight, I think, JY. Like, yeah. Dalton, I need to see a 20-piece, I think, out of Dalton Connect, or like an efficient 15. Like, they're still trying to throw Dalton Connect's name in trades, and I don't even know if he's viewed as a positive asset still.
And that's a crazy thing. Dalton Connect, if you look at FanDuel, Dalton Connect 20-plus points at plus 120. He's giving you no indication that he's that right there. I mean, Kevin, I would be more likely if we knew we were going to get the minutes. Bronny James, 10-plus points at plus 118. I mean, he got 10 points in 11 minutes. Now, I don't know how much the Lakers play him because if I'm the Lakers, I'm saving him for. I think the NBA wants him to, play well and then go into that matchup against Cooper Flag. So listen. It's at the end of the day, Dalton Connect. They need him because the Lakers need guys that can knock down threes. Now, obviously, they have addressed this a little bit, and with their movement and what they've done. But in order for the Lakers to be a good team, you have to surround LeBron, Luka with shooters. They got to get this kid right. And maybe now that they've gotten DeAndre Ayton, this kid can relax and know that he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's very, very odd to me, just the way he has struggled ultimately for this team. Also, I will just say, Reed Shepherd, favorite for Vegas Summer League MVP. I imagine he won't play enough games to win it. And I would be very careful. I think, JY, you would agree, betting in that market, because some of those names you're seeing, I don't know how much they're playing.
Right. So you
Like
look at
Montas
guys
Buzelis is not playing more than one game.
No, like a guy like Gigi Jackson's a guy that's going to get a lot of shots. I would look at him. The interesting one to look at, I don't know how much they play him, is Nikola Topic. We keep looking at how good the Thunder are going to be, and we forgot that this kid didn't even play. They didn't even play. So to me, I would look at Topic to see what he could do, because I think he, let's be honest, Kevin, you and I did the draft last year. I would say between you and I, he was probably in our top 5 to 6 favorite players in that draft. And if he wasn't hurt, he would have went higher than what he did.
Yeah, I was worried. I don't know if I was as high as you on Topic, because I was a little bit worried about what he would look like coming back from the ACL and things like that. But I wonder if they're going to let him play the whole way in Summer League. I find him to be one of the more interesting guys on this slate. We're going to button it up next, right here. We're live on SportsGrid.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
One that really sticks out to me the most, George, and he's having a fantastic season, is James Wood of the Washington Nationals. I mean, yes, Cal Raleigh's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He's like a candidate for MVP of the American League. But every time I look up, George, James Wood is either getting 5 hits or being walked 4 times in a game. What a season for this guy.
And he's so young. What is he, 22? So what a future this kid has ahead of him.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
There's now 7 different directors of analytics for like the Raptors, the Chiefs, where you can see us all like workshopping these ideas in these threads, because golf is so ubiquitous amongst gamblers. And so that was like the most popular non-poker forum, was the golf subforum. And then once we started thinking about once I realized in 2013 that Brody's book was coming out, I just thought stroke chain putting was it.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle. But as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause here, because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. It's Game Time Decisions. We're with you here on SportsGrid. What would everybody like to lead with? Pick your producer. Do you want to lead with Kelly Olynyk and the Wizards trading him to the Spurs, or the Reds trailing the Marlins 3-1? This struggle. It's 4-1 now. I mean, Marlins playoffs. I mean, at what point do we jump in? This team's red hot. This team just keeps getting the job done. Who's got a better record than them? Let's figure out what the window is. Like, how long has this team been good? Let's check since June 7th. That's a month. We're going to check some MLB best record since 6-7. The Marlins third best records. The best records in baseball since June 7th. Astros, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Marlins. Yeah, that makes sense. 3 first-place teams and the Miami Marlins, who are 41-38. What a group. 5-1. Get it while you still can. This game's got no end in sight. I'll tell you this. I'm not here tomorrow. I already got a best bet. Reds money line. They don't get swept. Oh, it's a 4-game series. Never mind. Abbott Alcantara. What are you going to do? Minnesota's on the board. How do we do that? Byron Buxton double. Jeffers double. Willie Castro ground out. Not good enough. Scoreless in some other spots where we were not supposed to be scoreless. Let's remind everybody of the action that is out there tonight. 6-1. Look, man, sometimes Casino Chris is getting beat up. I think he's getting beat up. He's on the Reds yesterday, I know that. Maybe he was under the hat on the Marlins. Let's talk a little picks. Let's see what hasn't started yet. I know the Wimbledon Ben Shelton bet's got a lot of time to get underway. Who's he going against? What? Oh, Sinner. Sinner's on fraud watch after getting bailed out in his last match. Flavio Caboli plus 740 against Novak. So I'm hearing a lot of Moneyline Merchant from Sandy Arnell, Taylor Fritz, anybody. A lot of plus money dogs making the card. Brewers money line, listen, not the start AJ was hoping for, but could be worse. Vladdy Jr., let's see what he did his first AB for Chris. Lined out and after a double, too. That was a base hit away from being 2+ hit run RBI already. Not good. Don't forget, Liberty team total, 85.5, raise the roof. We're in the mix. Home runs, Alec Burleson. We'll see if they play that game later. Kurtz gets a little bit of love. Shout out George Kurtz. A's Braves, that game might have juice. Nick Blastianos looking to take Robbie's Ray deep. 7-1. Robbie Ray coming off of a complete game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Robbie Ray was most recently featured on this program in a mail-it-in parlay that won. Shout out Robbie Ray. Who do I have home run-wise still to come? Late night, Matt Olson, Lawrence Butler. I'm hearing that game is being labeled Home Run Palooza 2025. There's Acuna Jr. bets. There's Soderstrom bets. We have the Kurtz. We have the Butler. Matt Olson. Who's the under-the-hat guy? Sean Murphy. If I can get another win on the board, Sean Murphy looks like he could go deep. Just eyeballing it. I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees. All right. Well, I'd keep your eyes on it. Feels like it could be a Sean Murphy game, but it feels like it's definitely a Matt Olson game. 7-1 Miami. Stop the count. A 7-run third. What a baseball team. No runs in the Rockies Red Sox. No runs in the Yankees Mariners. Oh, Baltimore up early on the Mets. He's not good. Mets money line under the hat. That's not good. Clay Holmes, fraud watch. It's Bryce Brandon Young getting it done for Baltimore. Could be a good omen for the Carolina Panthers. Taking a break. No, we're not. We're leaving. You're great. In-game live's next. See ya.